Now, teachers are the cornerstone of any sustainable education system. They are responsible for imparting knowledge, nurturing young minds, and instilling values that contribute to a brighter future. In Nigeria, where educational challenges persist, teachers are at the forefront of the battle to ensure access to quality education for all. Now, these dedicated educators often face significant challenges, from inadequate resources to overcrowded classrooms. However, they continue to persevere, making a profound impact on the lives of their students. Well, joining me now is Folashade Adefisayo. She is the former Commissioner for Education in Lagos State. Thank you so much, Folashade, for joining us.
Thank you for having me here.
And happy World Teachers' Day.
Thank
All right.
you.
Okay, Folashade, in the context of Nigeria's educational challenges, what would you say are the specific measures that can be taken to improve teacher training and teacher development, especially to ensure educators are better equipped for their roles?
Well, you can't take away the fact that, first of all, thank you for having me here. Yeah? As we all know, teachers are possibly the most critical in-school factor when it comes to quality of education. So there's no way you can do it without the teachers. And to get the teachers to a state where they can teach our children as we want them to be taught, then we have to really rethink our curriculum for teacher training. I think the curriculum for teacher training needs revamping. I think we need to ensure that it gives them the skills they will require in the classroom, because as somebody who has recruited teachers over many years, you find that actually the skills they are taught in colleges of education and faculties of education are inadequate for the realities of the classroom. So I really think that one thing we really have to get right is the curriculum for teacher training, and to make teaching a more interesting profession, because the best graduates do not want to go into teaching at all. So how do we improve the quality and caliber of people who go into education? We've got to make the profession more exciting, more interesting, better paid, and better respected. In which case, it will be a job that a young person can, aspire to. Right now, it's not the profession of choice. We just have to find ways around that. That's what I strongly believe, that make teachers respected members, involve them, whatever you are doing, involve them, whether it's curriculum review, whether it's teacher training, whether it's writing lesson notes, schemes of work, and so on in the state. Let the teachers do it, so that at least you see that teachers, they are specialists at what they do. And if we respect that, and the profession gets more respect, then I think in addition to improving the curriculum, we'll have a better caliber of teachers in the classroom.
All right. Also, I think that beyond the recruitment and training of teachers, there's also the issue of teacher retention. So what strategies or policies do you believe will be very effective in retaining these experienced teachers and reducing turnover in Nigeria schools?
Well, I don't know where you got your data from. So maybe you should explain to me where the attrition is coming from. Because when I worked in government, the attrition rate was quite low indeed. I don't know whether the attrition is coming from private schools, in which case there's nothing you can do to retain somebody who doesn't want to stay, unless you ensure that that person is paid enough to make the person want to stay, and that the profession is respected enough. Because when you look at yourself as a young person, you need to be comfortable with what you're doing. And if you find that this job is just not going to get me anywhere, I'm not going to get promoted, I have very poor prospects and even poor salary, so why should I stay? And so I think the only thing you can do about the attrition rate is to make the profession more interesting for young people to stay in. That means you have to address a lot of things concerning the conditions of service. It's really conditions of service that makes teachers move.
All right, I stand corrected. Are we saying that teacher retention is not a problem at all?
I didn't say it's not a problem. I said in the public sector, I hardly saw it. Because especially in Lagos State, I think the teachers are better paid in most private schools. So, and the conditions are not, so the rate of attrition there is lower. So, but in the private sector, yeah, the rate of attrition can be very high, especially with schools that don't treat their staff well.
All right. Now, also, the access to adequate resources is crucial for effective teaching, of course, and effective learning. Can you elaborate on key resources that can be used by these teachers to pass on information, as well as infrastructure improvements as well?
Well, infrastructure is great, it's important. Everybody knows this when you're talking about education and the quality of teaching and learning. It's not the resources, and in fact, because a good teacher can make a lot out of very little. The best teacher, I was a consultant looking at working with teachers in the classroom for many years. And one of the best teachers I ever saw was in a rural school somewhere in Kano State. And he had nothing in the classroom. He had no chairs and no tables. But I assure you, he had it was a market. He had developed something that looked like a market. And he went out and used all sorts of materials to make his market. He did something that he called it a television. He used that to teach them phonics. And his market, he had coins so they could buy and sell. So when I said, what's the market for? He said, I can teach them many things. I can teach them addition, subtraction, multiplication. I can teach them division. I can teach them even things like shapes, colors, big and small, opacity and transparency. I can teach so many things. So again, that is there. That one thing we have to help our teachers do is to understand that we can use the things around us to make the resources in the classroom that will make more engaging and more interesting. But beyond that, yes, the government and schools or private school owners also have a role in ensuring that infrastructure is adequate, that is, there are enough, the buildings are in good condition, there are adequate doors and windows and tables and chairs for the children, there's data, there's access to technology, and then that they are equipped enough so that the teachers have a lot of things that they can use. But I would still like to say that I still think that a teacher can make, sometimes we want everything done for us, but I do know that you can make good use of many of the things that are around. I know I'm not telling you the answer you want to hear. But
that's fair enough. Like that's fair enough. Thank you so much, Folashade Adefisayo, the former Commissioner for Education in Lagos State. Thank you for joining us on the news.